Brothers and sisters, hear me well, there is no sword sharper, no poison more potent than poor communication in our relationships. It does not strike in a single blow, it erodes slowly like a river carving stone, until nothing remains but silence and resentment. Do we not suffer more in imagination than in reality? We assume, we expect, we read between the lines where nothing is written, and so a bond that once stood strong weakens, not from external force but from neglect of the tongue and ear. A wise man does not demand to be understood. He seeks first to understand. He does not react in anger, but speaks with measured words. He does not shroud his thoughts in vagueness, expecting others to unravel them, but expresses them plainly, as one would to a child. What do we gain by holding grudges over words unsaid? By assuming malice where there is only ignorance? By listening only to respond rather than to comprehend? These are the roots of discord, the silent killers of trust, the architects of walls where bridges should be built. If a ship is to reach its destination, its crew must speak plainly. If a warrior is to trust his shield brother, they must communicate openly. So too in love, in friendship, in all human bonds. Without clarity, without honesty, ruin is assured. Let us then be masters of our speech and servants to our ears. Let us seek truth, not assumption, understanding, not victory, clarity, not ambiguity, for in this lies the foundation of all strong relationship. Listening with intent means giving your full attention to the person speaking, not just waiting for your turn to respond. Too often, people listen only to react, forming their replies before the other person has even finished speaking. This leads to misunderstandings, as words are heard but not truly absorbed. To listen with intent is to focus on understanding the speaker's meaning, emotions, and perspective, without rushing to judgment. It requires patience, an open mind, and a willingness to set aside one's own assumptions. When we listen in this way, we create deeper connections, reduce conflict, and show respect to those who speak to us. True communication is not just about expressing ourselves, but about ensuring that others feel heard and valued. Speaking clearly and simply means expressing your thoughts in a way that leaves no room for confusion or misinterpretation. Many people believe that using complex words or elaborate explanations makes them sound more intelligent. But in reality, the most effective communication is straightforward and precise. When we overcomplicate our words, we risk being misunderstood, causing frustration and unnecessary conflict. Truth does not require decoration or exaggeration. It stands strong on its own. If you mean something, say it directly. If you have a request, make it clear. If you have a concern, state it plainly. Ambiguity is the enemy of understanding, and assumptions thrive where clarity is absent. The goal of communication is not to impress, but to convey meaning in the simplest and most honest way possible. When we master the art of clear speech, we foster trust, strengthen relationships, and eliminate confusion before it can take root. Assuming the best in others means giving them the benefit of the doubt instead of immediately believing they have bad intentions. Many conflicts arise not because someone deliberately meant to hurt us, but because of misunderstandings, miscommunication, or even our own emotional state clouding our perception. When we assume the worst, we create unnecessary tension and distance, often reacting with anger or defensiveness before we fully understand the situation. However, when we choose to assume good intentions, we approach conversations with patience and openness, allowing space for clarification and resolution. This does not mean being naive or ignoring harmful behavior, but rather recognizing that most people do not act out of malice, but from their own struggles, fears, or lack of awareness. By assuming the best, we replace resentment with understanding, suspicion with trust, and conflict with connection. In doing so, we create stronger, more peaceful relationships, built on mutual respect and empathy. Controlling your emotions before speaking is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and avoiding unnecessary conflict. When emotions run high, especially anger, words can become weapons rather than tools for understanding. A person who speaks out of anger often says things they later regret, damaging trust and creating wounds that take time to heal. A wise person recognizes that emotions are temporary, but the impact of words can be lasting. Instead of reacting impulsively, they take a moment to pause, reflect, and regain composure before responding. This does not mean suppressing emotions or avoiding difficult conversations, but rather expressing thoughts in a calm and measured way. When we master our emotions before we speak, we communicate with clarity and purpose, rather than allowing frustration or hurt to cloud our judgment. This discipline leads to more productive discussions, fewer regrets, and relationships that are built on understanding rather than resentment. Clarifying instead of assuming is one of the most important habits for maintaining strong and honest relationships. Assumptions are often based on our own fears, biases, or incomplete information, and they frequently lead to unnecessary misunderstandings and conflict. When we assume, we create stories in our minds about what others mean, think, or feel, stories that may not be true. Instead of reacting to these assumptions, it is far wiser to seek clarification. Asking a simple question can prevent confusion, resolve doubts, and eliminate the frustration that comes from misinterpretation. It takes only a moment to ask for clarification, but failing to do so can lead to days, months, or even years of misunderstanding and resentment. True wisdom lies in valuing truth over ego, and a wise person would rather ask and know than assume and be mistaken. Clear communication strengthens trust, removes unnecessary tension, and fosters deeper connections by ensuring that both parties truly understand each other. Being present in conversations means giving your full attention to the person speaking, without distractions or divided focus. In today's world, where notifications, screens, and multitasking constantly pull us away, true presence has become rare. When we only half listen while thinking about what to say next or checking our phones, we send an unspoken message that the other person is not important. This weakens trust and creates emotional distance, making meaningful communication difficult. A strong relationship, whether in friendship, family, or love, depends on making the other person feel heard and valued. Being present requires setting aside distractions, maintaining eye contact, and genuinely engaging with the speaker's words. It means listening not just to reply, but to understand. When we give someone our full attention, we deepen our connection with them, reduce misunderstandings, and show respect. Presence is a gift, and in giving it, we strengthen the foundation of every relationship. Expressing needs and boundaries clearly is essential for healthy communication and strong relationships. Many conflicts arise not because people refuse to meet each other's needs, but because those needs were never clearly expressed in the first place. Expecting others to automatically know what we want or how we feel leads to frustration, disappointment, and resentment. No one is a mind reader, and assuming that others should just know creates unnecessary tension. If something is important to you, say it openly and honestly. If a behavior makes you uncomfortable, set a boundary and communicate it directly. Clear expression is not selfish. It is necessary for mutual understanding and respect. Avoid vague hints or passive-aggressive behavior. Instead, speak with clarity and confidence. Those who respect you will appreciate your honesty, and those who do not were never meant to be close to you. Strong relationships are built on open dialogue, not silent expectations. Using silence as a weapon in relationships only creates distance, misunderstanding, and resentment. When conflicts arise, some people choose to withdraw, refusing to communicate as a way to punish the other person. This silent treatment may feel like a form of control or self-protection, but in reality, it only deepens the problem. Avoidance does not resolve conflict, it allows it to fester. True strength lies not in withholding words, but in using them wisely to express feelings, clear up misunderstandings, and work toward resolution. Healthy communication requires openness, even when the conversation is difficult. Silence should be used for reflection, not for punishment. If you need time to process your emotions, Communicate that instead of shutting the other person out. A relationship built on trust and respect thrives on honest dialogue, not on cold silence. When we replace avoidance with communication, we build stronger, more resilient connection. Responding rather than reacting is a sign of wisdom and self-control. When faced with conflict, criticism, or difficult conversations, many people react impulsively, letting emotions take control of their words. Reactions are often driven by anger, fear, or frustration, and they tend to escalate situations rather than resolve them. A reaction is quick and thoughtless, while a response is deliberate and measured. Thoughtful words have the power to heal, to bring clarity, and to strengthen relationships, while impulsive words can cause damage that is difficult to undo. Before speaking, pause. Take a breath. Consider your words carefully. Ask yourself if what you are about to say will improve the situation or make it worse. By choosing to respond rather than react, you gain control over your emotions and prevent unnecessary harm. True communication is not about proving a point in the heat of the moment, but about fostering understanding and resolution. Those who master this principle build relationships based on trust, respect, and wisdom. Valuing truth over ego is one of the most important principles for maintaining strong and honest relationships. Many conflicts are prolonged, not because of real disagreement, but because one or both people refuse to admit when they are wrong. Pride can make us stubborn, causing us to defend a mistaken position rather than acknowledge the truth, but clinging to our ego only distances us from others and prevents growth. True wisdom lies in the ability to recognize when we have made a mistake and to correct it with humility. Admitting when we are wrong does not make us weak. It makes us honest, and honesty builds trust. Likewise, if we are uncertain about something, we should seek clarity instead of assuming. Asking questions and verifying facts shows strength of character and a commitment to truth. When we prioritize truth over protecting our pride, we foster deeper understanding, resolve conflicts more effectively, and create relationships rooted in mutual respect. The wise person does not fear being wrong, they fear remaining ignorant. Let us remember that communication is the foundation of every strong relationship. It is not enough to simply speak. We must speak with clarity, listen with intent, and approach every conversation with the goal of understanding, rather than winning. Poor communication is a silent destroyer, eroding trust, creating unnecessary conflict, and leaving behind regret. But the power to change this is in our hands. We must resist the temptation to assume, to react in anger, or to remain silent when our words could bring healing. A relationship built on strong communication can withstand any challenge, while one built on miscommunication crumbles at the slightest pressure. So let us rise above our impulses. Let us be the ones who choose clarity over confusion, understanding over assumption, and wisdom over ego. In doing so, we not only strengthen our relationships, but also grow into better, wiser, and more compassionate individuals. The quality of our lives is shaped by the quality of our relationships, and the strength of our relationships is determined by the way we communicate. Choose your words wisely, and watch your world transform.